So, what is up, guys? This is Nick here from Everything Tech, and welcome to this MacBook Pro 2016 versus iPad Pro 2016. Let's go. Alright guys, so welcome to this video of the MacBook Pro 2016 versus iPad Pro, you could say the 2016 model of iPad. Now, these Apple products, there's so many of them, and all of them from their lineup are very, very powerful devices, from the iPhone to the iPad to the MacBook. So you might be asking yourself the question, should I buy an iPad Pro? I mean, I think they market it as something super powerful that can replace a laptop, yet I'm still waiting to buy an iPad, and now I hear an announcement that the MacBook Pro 2016 is out, and now I'm just getting confused, Apple. Well, Apple's not going to come out and tell you which one is better. They're just not going to do that. So that's what we here on YouTube and people out there are here to help you to decide. Now, for all my viewers out there, before I get into this, can you let me know if the audio sounds better? This is being recorded on a new microphone. This is the Rode Video Mic Me. It sounds good to me, but I want you guys to let me know. So let me know down below. Anyway, getting back to the video, the MacBook Pro 2016 this is the entry-level edition. It comes with an Intel Core i5 series with Intel Iris 540 graphics, as well as 8 gigabytes of RAM and a 256 gigabyte SSD. But what's not nice about this laptop is it eliminates a lot of the ports. Now, some people might not care. You get 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports in USB-C, but over here you do have a 3.5 millimeter headset jack. But that's about it. So, I mean, on the iPad, it's an iOS device. So we know we're not getting a lot of ports. We do get a Lightning port and a 3.5 millimeter headset jack, but we expect that here for the iPad Pro. Now, the iPad Pro has an A9X CPU, and you can also get this in 256 gigabytes of storage, as well as the whole the 2 gigabytes of RAM on here, as well as the Apple Pencil, and you can also get the smart keyboard from Apple, as well as a plethora of other accessories for this guy. So on the MacBook Pro, you're going to get these butterfly switch keys here for typing on the MacBook Pro, so you can see here, very thin and very updated from the previous MacBook generations, as well as this huge trackpad. And if you decide to go with the touch bar model, you have this touch strip up here. It's an OLED touch strip, whereas the iPad Pro over here is a full-on iOS style device. But what's different here is that, you get touchscreen here, and a very nice, one of the best touchscreen experiences you're going to get here on any mobile device. And this is probably, and I said it in my iPad Pro 9.7 review, is that this is probably the fastest tablet in the world right here, and it's extremely powerful. I mean, this thing can handle 4K video. This thing can handle, extremely heavy applications. So this thing is literally like a supercomputer in a tablet. And I mean, it's not going to be quite as powerful as the MacBook over here, but it definitely is, most things you're not even going to know that the MacBook Pro is more powerful than the iPad Pro over here. So should you buy a MacBook Pro or should you buy an iPad Pro? Well, you got to ask yourself this question. Do you need to do Photoshop? Do you need to do all these desktop based applications? Then you should just skip the iPad Pro at this current point altogether, because the mobile versions of these heavier applications are just not going to give you the type of level of control and precision that you need. Now, you can get the Apple Pencil and argue that yes, it does with the Apple Pencil, but the applications themselves are just not as powerful as desktop-based or macOS-based applications, such as Final Cut X, Final Cut Pro, as well as GarageBand, iMovie, and things like that. It just works better here on a Mac. You got a bigger screen as well. But as far as you want a bigger screen, you could just go check out the iPad Pro 12.9 over here. But if you want an iPad Pro, here's what you're going to have to get used to. If you're going to get an iPad Pro as your only computer, I would highly suggest that you go ahead and pick up a keyboard accessory, whether it's from someone like Zag, whether it's from someone like I reviewed earlier, the IE Grow keyboard. I can leave that link down below in the description as well as up in the card. But I highly recommend you get a keyboard if you're going to use this as your main computer over here on the iPad Pro. But where the iPad Pro is going to shine over the iPad is going to be in just the level of, touch response. Portability is way better on the iPad Pro than the Mac. This is 3 pounds. This is like 1 pound. So this thing is tiny. It's like throwing this in your bag. It almost disappears. You don't even feel it anymore. And this has a webcam, a 720p webcam. This has the 12 megapixel iSight camera here, like you get on the iPhone 6s. So basically you have an iPhone 6s here camera on the iPad Pro 9.7. So you can literally create video on here. You can shoot it, you can edit it, you can upload it to YouTube. You can run your whole channel if you're a YouTuber, for example, on the iPad Pro. I'm just speaking from my experience because that's what I'm doing currently. But if you're an audio person as well, you can go ahead and create music on the iPad. I've heard from people like T-Pain, the rapper T-Pain. He showed me how he literally creates all his beats on an iPad. So you can do those kind of things on an iPad, and it's really easy to play with it. But when it comes to just overall battery life, both are pretty similar. Actually, the MacBook Pro has extremely good battery life, 10 hours on the iPad Pro. But in terms of, the level of productivity, I would say you can be just a little bit more productive on a MacBook because of its more, productive macOS kind of operating system. Over here, you do get a little bit distracted by this, having Instagram right there and all these applications. It really feels like you're using an iPhone over here on the iPad Pro. However, you should take into account that Apple might be going ahead in the future and changing iPad OS. They might come out with something called iPad OS, where basically they're going to change it into more of a desktop-centric type experience for the iPad. I mean, this iPad right here is so powerful. I mean, it could run a more desktop-like operating system here on this device. So over here, what you're going to get though is you're going to get a backlit keyboard, where you're not going to get no backlit keyboard on iPad, but you don't really need a backlit keyboard because the keyboard's on screen, but it's still nice to have that. In terms of speakers, the MacBook speakers are just a bit louder. These stereo speakers on the iPad Pro do boom. They are very loud, but these are just a bit louder here on the MacBook Pro. Now, in terms of the look and the body, both are made of the same premium construction, space gray materials here. A little bit more grayish here on the MacBook Pro, but overall they feel about the same. They got that same high grade aluminum here on both devices. But I mean, this is really not, most people are not going to be shopping Mac or iPad. Either you want a Mac or you want an iPad. But some people think that, you cannot get by with an iPad or over a Mac. And I can tell you, if you're not a person doing professional work, you're just taking notes, you're using Microsoft Word, you're just doing presentations, you can get by with an iPad. Just get a keyboard accessory. Like in college students can get by with this these days with the iPad Pro, if they have like smaller needs, like they're not going to be in no professional fields in their courses. So like if you're a programmer, I wouldn't expect you to go get an iPad Pro. But if you're just somebody who's taking, courses that don't require all that, for example, you're a major in, let's see, English major, you're going to have plenty of options here to write papers and all that things here on the iPad Pro. So really what you got to ask yourself is, am I going to be doing light tasks, and do I want a more portable device and I don't need all that professional level software here like the Mac's going to give me? Then go with the iPad Pro. You'll save yourself $1,000 on the iPad Pro, and this thing is super powerful. You would not even notice the difference in power between this and this unless you're like transferring photos and things of that nature. Then the MacBook will show its power. Professionals will notice the difference between the MacBook Pro, but I'm saying everyday consumers out here, these devices are so similar in terms of power, the way they feel. It's so hard to see the differences. That's how far computing power has come. So overall, you got to ask yourself that question. Am I doing light work? Go with the iPad Pro 9.7. You'll save yourself $1,000. Go get a keyboard accessory, maybe the Apple Pencil. That's another thing. If you're an artist and you want to draw up stuff, go with the iPad Pro. Now, if you're somebody who wants to do a thing on a Wacom tablet thing and you want to just connect it to your Mac, then go with the Mac. Now, if you want a Mac, you got to ask yourself this question. Am I going to get my money back out of the Mac? Is this going to be a creative tool? Because I really think this is geared towards creative professionals here on the MacBook Pro. If you're not a creative professional, you really don't need to go buy this extremely expensive laptop unless you just got to have that sexy Apple design, you might say, if you think it's sexy. My personal opinion, this is a sexy laptop, one of the sexiest looking laptops on the planet. but that's just my opinion. You might differ. But anyway, that's pretty much it here with this video. If you're a creative professional, go with the MacBook Pro. If you're somebody who's doing, you need to do some professional level stuff, but you don't need this desktop operating system. For example, you're a graphic designer and you just need to draw up some works and stuff and show them to clients, and you got a PC at home. The iPad Pro will be a very good option for you. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up here. If you're a heavy professional creative user, I would say go with this MacBook Pro here this year. If you're a light professional user and you only need some light stuff, graphic design, things of that nature, you're in college, you're writing up papers and stuff, the iPad Pro will still get the job done. But just take into account, like I said, that the iPad Pro might be getting that whole, tablet or desktop centric UI in the future here. So very future proofed over here on the iPad Pro if you decide to go with this, and you're going to save yourself about $1,000, $1,500 to start, $499 to start at most retailers outside of Apple. So anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap this video up. If share this video with somebody you think can find it helpful, that helps out a lot too. Still trying to grow over here. And yeah, have a great day wherever you are. Be sure to be well. I will catch you all in the next one, and peace.